Have you ever looked around at people your age and thought, why do some folks seem full of life while others are already slowing down? Maybe you've caught yourself wondering if it's just luck, good genes, or if there's something more to it. Let me tell you, if you're between 50 and 70 and can still do certain things, you might be a rare gem. Not just someone who's aging well, but someone who's quietly stacking the odds in their favor to live to 90 and beyond. And no, I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights, though if that's you, more power to you. I'm talking about simple, surprisingly powerful abilities, everyday actions that reveal a lot about your overall health, resilience, and chances of staying strong for decades to come. So, let's dive in and talk about what those things are. As we go, I want you to think of this as not as a test, but as a celebration. If you can still do these things, pat yourself on the back. And if you can't, don't worry. That just means today is a great day to start working toward them. Let's start with something you probably don't think twice about: getting up from a chair without using your hands. That's right. No pushing off the armrests, no leaning forward to rock yourself up, just standing straight up, using nothing but the strength of your legs and your balance. It might sound simple, but this one action is actually a powerful indicator of lower body strength, mobility, and coordination. And according to several studies, it's directly linked to longevity. Why? Because your ability to stand up easily without assistance means your legs are still supporting you well. It also means your core is strong, your balance is intact, and your nervous system is firing properly. These are the things that help prevent falls, one of the biggest dangers for seniors. Falls don't just lead to broken bones, they can set off a chain of setbacks that are hard to recover from. So, if you can stand up without help, you're already ahead of the curve. Now try this the next time you're alone. Stand up from a low chair, or even better, from the floor. Can you do it without using your hands? If yes, you're not just maintaining strength, you're defying the typical aging curve. And if not, that's your cue to start building that muscle back. Squats using just your body weight are a great low-impact place to begin. Speaking of movement, let's talk about walking. Not just the fact that you can walk, but how you walk. Do you walk with purpose? Is your stride steady and confident, or are you shuffling a little more than you used to? It turns out walking speed is one of the most reliable predictors of life expectancy in older adults. In fact, some researchers call it the sixth vital sign. Think about it. When you walk with a normal pace, it means your heart, lungs, muscles, and even your brain are all working in sync. A brisk walking pace shows not only physical strength, but also cognitive sharpness and coordination. So if you're 60 or 70 and can still walk a mile without stopping, or even just make it around the block at a good clip, you're in an elite group. And here's the really encouraging part. Walking speed is something you can improve, no matter where you're starting. You don't need fancy gym memberships. Just make walking a daily habit. If you're at the store, park a little farther. Take the stairs if you can. Invite a friend or your grandchild for a walk and make it fun. It's one of the simplest things you can do to add not just years to your life, but life to your years. Now let's shift gears a bit. Can you still remember where you left your keys? Or follow a recipe without rereading it 10 times? If so, your brain is doing something remarkable. As we age, many people worry about memory loss and cognitive decline. It's one of the biggest fears for folks over 60, and understandably so. But here's the good news. Staying mentally sharp isn't about having a perfect memory. It's about staying curious. Now that we've talked about standing up without using your hands, walking with confidence, and staying mentally sharp, let's look at another surprising ability that says a lot about your health: how well you sleep. Yes, sleep. We don't often think of it as a skill, but let me tell you, getting consistent, restful sleep in your 60s and 70s is more valuable than gold. If you can fall asleep without tossing and turning for hours, If you can sleep through the night without waking up 4 or 5 times, and if you wake up feeling rested, not groggy or cranky, you're in a very small, very lucky group. Good sleep is one of the most underrated secrets to longevity. Why? Because while you're sleeping, your body is healing. Your cells repair themselves, your brain clears out waste, and your heart gets a much-needed break. Now I know sleep changes as we age. Hormones shift, aches and pains come into play, and sometimes our mind races more at night than it did during the day. But if you've been able to maintain a solid sleep routine, one that leaves you feeling refreshed most mornings, that's a major sign that your internal systems are still working in harmony. If you struggle with sleep, you're not alone, and it doesn't mean all hope is lost. There are small things that can make a big difference, like creating a calm bedtime routine, avoiding screens and caffeine in the evening, and keeping your room cool and dark. Even light stretching before bed can help relax your muscles and ease your mind. Here's something else you might not think of as a sign of great health, but it is. Can you still maintain your balance on one foot for 10 seconds? Go ahead, give it a try. Stand up, lift one foot just a few inches off the ground and count. No grabbing a chair or the wall. Can you do it? Balance is a strong indicator of longevity. And here's why. It combines so many functions in one simple task. Your muscles, joints, eyes, ears, brain, and even your reflexes all have to work together. If even one of those systems is off, you'll feel it in your balance. That's why people with balance issues are more likely to experience falls, which can lead to hospitalization and even permanent mobility loss. But if you can stand steady, even just for 10 seconds, it means your body is still responding to feedback the way it should. And you don't need to be a gymnast to improve your balance. Just practice. Try standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, or walk heel to toe along a hallway once a day. These little things challenge your body in the right way and build confidence over time. And here's something really special. Can you still laugh? I mean truly laugh. Belly laugh, the kind that makes your eyes water and your face light up. If you're someone who still finds joy in small things, who can find humor in daily life, you're not just lucky, you're incredibly healthy in a way most people underestimate. Laughter is linked to lower stress, stronger immunity, and better heart health. It boosts circulation, relaxes muscles, and even improves oxygen intake. More than that, it keeps you connected. People who laugh more tend to be more social, more optimistic, and better at handling the tough stuff life throws at them. If you've gone through hard times, loss, illness, loneliness, but still find reasons to smile, you're showing a kind of emotional resilience that directly impacts your physical health. That mindset, that ability to bounce back and stay open to joy, is one of the biggest predictors of living a longer, more fulfilling life. And speaking of emotions, let's talk about one of the most important skills you can have at this stage. In life, handling stress without letting it take over. Can you face challenges without losing sleep, snapping at others, or shutting down? If so, that's another rare and powerful trait. Managing stress well doesn't mean pretending everything is fine all the time. It means being able to pause, take a breath, and respond instead of react. It means asking yourself, what? Now let's talk about that final ability I mentioned, something subtle but incredibly powerful. If you're between 50 and 70 and can still do this, you're not just aging well, you're building a legacy. I'm talking about your sense of purpose. Yes, purpose. Having a reason to get up in the morning, something you care about, something that gives your life meaning. It could be taking care of a pet, calling a friend who needs you, tending to your garden, teaching your grandchild how to cook, or even volunteering in your community. It doesn't have to be big or world-changing. It just has to matter to you. Studies have shown over and over again that people who maintain a sense of purpose live longer, and not just by a few months. We're talking years. And they're not just surviving, they're thriving. Their immune systems are stronger, their hearts are healthier. their risk of depression is lower. And when they do face illness or hardship, they bounce back faster. Purpose acts like a compass. It keeps you focused, motivated, and emotionally resilient. Without it, even the healthiest body can feel tired. But with it, people find the energy to keep moving, keep laughing, and keep engaging with the world. So if you still feel that spark inside, if you're curious, creative, helpful, involved, you're already on a rare and powerful path. And if you're thinking, I'm not sure I have a purpose anymore, let me tell you something important. It's never too late to rediscover it. Purpose doesn't come from titles or careers. It comes from connection, from caring, from being needed, even if it's just by one person, one animal, one cause. Sometimes it's as simple as deciding to be the kind of person who lifts others up, who listens, who shares what they've learned in life. That alone can change someone's world. And here's something beautiful. Purpose tends to grow stronger with age. Why? Because you've lived. You've seen the highs and lows. You've learned what matters and what doesn't. You know how precious time is. That wisdom, that perspective, that's something the world desperately needs. And when you recognize it in yourself, you light up. People notice. You walk a little taller, speak a little clearer, and carry yourself with a quiet strength that inspires others. So if you can still feel excited about the day ahead, if you still have goals, even small ones, if you still make plans and look forward to things, you are absolutely one of those rare gems. And not just because you've survived, but because you're still choosing to live. Now, let's take a moment to look back. Maybe you're someone who can stand up with ease. You walk with confidence. Your brain is still sharp. Your laugh is still loud. Your balance is steady, and your heart is light. Or maybe you're working on a few of those things, and that's perfectly okay. What matters most is that you care, that you're here, paying attention to your health, your habits, your happiness. You see, living to 90 isn't about being perfect. It's not about looking young or pretending nothing ever hurts. It's about strength, the quiet kind. The kind that shows up in the choices you make, the way you treat yourself, the way you adapt and keep going, even when life gets tough. Maybe you've faced illness. Maybe you've lost people. Maybe your body doesn't move quite like it used to. But if you're still standing, still trying, still caring, that's strength. That's resilience. That's what longevity really looks like. And here's the best part. Every one of the things we've talked about today can be nurtured. You don't need to be born with good genes or have a perfect record. You just need to start today with what you can do. Can't stand up without using your hands? Practice a few gentle squats every morning. Struggling with sleep? Try winding down with soft music or stretching instead of scrolling on your phone. Feeling a little isolated? Reach out, make that call, join a group, share a